Ripple does it again, making giant moves every single time. I'm telling you, their tech stack literally keeps growing by leaps and bounds. By acquiring Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, positioning themselves in a $3 trillion payment system, knowing that Hidden Road was going to get FINRA compliance, which is global broker. They're a global broker. They can offer services such as buying and selling securities for their clients. And I think it's ironic, 4.5 years, the SEC goes after Ripple for possible sales of securities of XRP, which we all know that doesn't meet the standard of the Howey test and all three prongs. And here, Ripple, right out of the gate, blows the doors off, acquires Hidden Road, gets the global broker license, can trade FX, can buy securities, can sell securities, you name it, providing deep liquidity. They've got all the markets covered between standard trust that they have, that they acquired. What was that, 800 million or something for that deal, 250 million for Medico, then 1.25 billion for Hidden Road. They're literally knocking it out of the park. It is absolutely astronomical what is going on in this space. This is a giant, huge step. The fact that they can offer globally is wild. And if you realize that Medico is based in Switzerland, it's one of the financial hubs of the world, and it has all the regulations in place to work with Citibank, who is their client, and BNY Mellon, who's their client, who BNY Mellon and Citi are Ripple partners as well already before, correct? So they are taking their assets and having Medico custody them. You're talking trillions, man. 35 trillion here, 50 trillion there. You got Bank of America. What are they good for? A couple hundred trillion? I don't know. It's wild. They're one of the largest. They got to be over $100 trillion. Then you got Swift. That's 1.25 quadrillion. You're talking the DTCC is another, 1.2 quadrillion. It's absolutely wild, the numbers that are in this space. There's so much money out here flowing. And if you understood it, and I told you that all of these companies, all of this action that's happening that I'm talking about, all this money is going to be moving on the blockchain and XRP is going to be used to do it, you would be setting up a consultation with me and asking more questions. You would. Because you can buy this token for $2 today, but knowing what you're going to do with it, how you're going to actually get a hold of the money, because there's a liquidity problem, and there always is when this whole thing breaks loose. So I think it's really interesting how this whole thing is literally exploding. You've got Brad Garlinghouse at the White House. He's at the Crypto Summit, which he was one of the only stablecoin representatives, by the way. Circle was not there. USDT Tether was not there. So you have him sitting at the table. It's just amazing. He's having dinner with Donald Trump. The Ripple is positioned in the Federal Reserve Task Force payments, right? So they're in charge of that whole sector, including FedNow, including all of it, right? Bank of International Settlement, they help them develop mBridge for the BRICS nations. You can see how Ripple is tied in the BRICS nations. Ripple is tied in the United States of America. Ripple is tied into Nubank, which Warren Buffett is invested in. Interesting. And so you've got South American connections to the United States. You've got England. You've got the whole basket, right? Everything is being interconnected, and Ripple is the connection. Ripple is the financial connection and bridge to all of this, including Saudi Arabia, who has adopted the XRP ledger and has relationships with Ripple, the UAE. I mean, we can keep going and going down this rabbit hole, and you start tracking partnerships. And one of these days I'd love to do a video, but the fact is I don't know if many of you would last that long. There's literally thousands of them, guys. It's absolutely wild. And I can tie this into the digital biometric space as well, because Ripple has partners in that. You have to understand they're into digital identity. Digital identity has verification for banks, correct? Biometrics. They have tons of partners that are into this biometrics that Ripple's into. Digital identity, right? That goes right along with blockchain and verification. You have it on X.com, you have it on Facebook, you have it on everything else. Of course, you're going to have it on the blockchain. And eventually, you're probably going to have it on computers. You won't be able to log on more than likely onto a computer unless you have a digital verification. So those days are coming. Be aware. Cash is going away. I just went down to Ford to buy some batteries for my truck. Those are expensive. And they wouldn't take cash. Ford doesn't take cash, guys. Like, that's crazy. It's absolutely wild. 96% depreciation on the dollar. Got to find a hedge to put your money into. Blockchain technology is the future. I hope you see it. If you watch this channel and you've been here, congratulations, because you are in the right spot at the right time, literally, and you're positioning yourselves in a strategic way. I keep telling people, this is an opportunity that has never presented itself to the middle class before. An opportunity where you actually can buy an asset before the banks had the go-ahead to just go ahead and buy it up and increase the price exponentially, and then all the little people get the breadcrumbs, right? You know, it usually happens, right? Everybody heard about NVIDIA after NVIDIA went up and tons of people made money on it. And that's fine if you're on the in. And usually it's all the senators and other people that are on the in. It's not usually us, right? So I think it's amazing time in history to be able to buy an asset before we're literally front running the banks, literally. And it's the first time in history it's ever happened. And that to me is incredible, that the middle class has that opportunity and that God has given us wisdom and intuition and understanding into realizing what this asset truly is and what it's actually going to do for us and also for him, right? Because in my personal life, God is the part of it and the center of it. And so this is also about building what he wants and his purposes. So I try to be sensitive to that. And I think more on the channel, I may be talking about a little bit of that. If that's something that you guys are interested in the wealth building strategies arena, definitely drop something down below. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching my content. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening to what I have to say. Take care. I appreciate it.